Mobile horror games have evolved a lot, and some of them now rival full PC and console experiences. Strong atmosphere, smart design, and intense sound work are turning phones into perfect horror platforms. In this video, I'm breaking down the top 10 best mobile horror games available on Android and iOS right now. Number 10. In No Rest Horror, you play as David. Poor guy just runs out of gas and wanders into a town that is definitely not on any tourist map. The premise is classic. You're alone, something is hunting you, and your only job is to survive. What I really dig about this one is the atmosphere. It's not relying on billion-dollar graphics. It uses sound to mess with you. You absolutely need headphones for this. The way the audio cues work is genuinely unsettling. The gameplay loop is straightforward. Explore. Find items to unlock new areas, and run for your life when the bad guy shows up. Since it's a single-player offline experience, it's perfect for those moments when you have no internet. I think it is a decent classic horror game for mobile. Number 9. Usually waking up at 1 a.m. just means I need water, but in the face horror game, it means I'm about to have a heart attack. You play as Emily, a streamer who wakes up at exactly 1:15 a.m. to find her clock stopped, the power out, and her parents missing. The game leans heavily into psychological horror. It's not just about running away. You actually have to complete realistic daily tasks in the dark, which feels incredibly stressful when you know something is watching. The entity isn't just a generic monster. It's a shifting, distorted figure that looks like a twisted clown, and the rough, low-budget style actually makes it way more disturbing. It feels like a simulation that wasn't supposed to be released. If you want to be terrified of your own hallway, give this a go. Number 8. Endless Nightmare really brings back that old-school horror feeling, the kind where the silence is almost scarier than the monsters. You play as a police officer investigating a murder inside a dark, empty house, and the game does a great job of making every room feel tense and claustrophobic. The jump scares hit hard, but it's the slow build-up, the creaking floors, and the feeling of being watched that really got to me. What I like most is how it mixes exploration with stealth. You're not just running from danger, you're trying to figure out what happened while staying alive. The puzzles are simple, but add just enough mystery to keep you moving from room to room. If you enjoy story-driven mobile horror, this is definitely one of the titles worth checking out. Number 7. The Boiled One has that kind of horror vibe that sticks with you long after you stop playing. It's based on a creepy internet myth, and the game throws you straight into that unsettling atmosphere. Dark rooms, echoing hallways, and a constant sense that something is following you. Everything feels quiet, almost too quiet, which makes every small sound hit harder. What pulls me in the most is how the game mixes exploration with pure tension. You're not just walking around, you're piecing together clues, trying to understand what this creature is and why it's hunting you. The design of the monster itself is disturbing in all the right ways, the kind that makes you double-check corners before moving forward. Number 6. If I had $1 for every horror game set in a spooky psychiatric ward, I could probably buy my own hospital. But Stalkers, the legend actually manages to make the cliché scary again. You play as Edward, a guy who thinks he's just there to find some dusty documents, but ends up trapped in a facility that wasn't abandoned. The atmosphere is where this game shines. Gameplay-wise, you are completely defenseless. You have to keep moving to avoid the shadows that stalk you, and the game loves to mess with your head. It is a paid offline experience, but for the price of a gumball, you get a solid 3D horror game with no ads breaking the immersion. If you miss the era of pure psychological horror, this is a must-play. Number 5.
Hell, what is it?
Case Animatronics immediately gave me those strong FNAF vibes, but in a way that feels more hands-on and immersive. You're playing as a detective trapped inside a dark police station, and deadly animatronics are roaming the hallways hunting you down. The mobile version keeps that same tense atmosphere, checking cameras, hiding in rooms, and watching your battery slowly drop, and it instantly reminded me of the pressure you feel in Five Nights at Freddy's, just with full movement and exploration. What I like most is how the game mixes stealth and decision-making while still keeping you on edge. You're solving small puzzles, unlocking doors, and trying to stay quiet as these metal creatures stomp around looking for you. The sound design is intense too. Every sudden noise makes you pause. If you enjoy FNAF-style horror, but want something where you actually move around the world, Case Animatronics is a great one to dive into. Number 4. Crunchyroll White Day brings back one of the most iconic school horror experiences, but this time with a fresh mobile release that feels smoother and more immersive. I've always thought White Day had a special kind of fear, not loud or flashy, but quiet, tense, and unpredictable. And seeing Crunchyroll bring it to mobile honestly made me excited to dive in again. You play as a student trapped inside a haunted high school during the night, and every hallway feels like it's hiding something. The game mixes stealth, exploration, and story-driven scares, so you're constantly sneaking around, solving puzzles, and trying not to get caught by the terrifying janitors or the spirits roaming the halls. If you like story-heavy games with tension that never lets go, Crunchyroll White Day is definitely one worth watching out for. Number 3. Forgotten Memories Remaster immediately gave me that feeling of playing a classic psychological horror game, but with a cleaner, sharper look. It has this slow, heavy atmosphere where every step feels important, and the silence almost becomes part of the tension. You play as Rose, searching for a missing girl inside an abandoned facility, and the way the story unfolds feels personal, almost like you're uncovering pieces of someone's trauma, one room at a time. What I really like is how the game doesn't rely on cheap jump scares. Instead, it builds fear through lighting, sound, and those tight, claustrophobic spaces. The remaster makes everything smoother, better textures, better controls, and a more polished experience overall, but it still keeps that old-school horror charm. Number 2.
It's okay. It's okay, it's me.
In 2026, luckily we have a stack of Resident Evil ports on mobile. The series defined the horror genre again, and playing on mobile feels incredible. It is honestly wild that I can carry Village, Biohazard, and the remakes of 2 and 3 in my pocket. But I have to be real with you about the trade-offs. These games are storage monsters, with some easily topping 30 gigabytes. And please, do yourself a favor, grab a controller. Trying to survive Nemesis with touch controls is just an exercise in frustration. It really stings that this is still exclusive to iOS. Android users are missing out on what feels like a massive leap forward for mobile gaming. But if you have the hardware, you can play the opening sections for free. You owe it to yourself to see this. Number 1. Alien Isolation has always been known for its terrifying atmosphere, that slow, constant tension where you're never really safe, and the idea of carrying that experience in your pocket feels both exciting and terrifying at the same time. You play as Amanda Ripley, trying to uncover what happened to her mother, and the entire journey feels like you're trapped in a giant metal maze where the xenomorph is always one step behind you. What I love is how the mobile version doesn't seem to cut corners. The lighting, the sound design, the animations, everything still has that cold, claustrophobic vibe that made the original so unforgettable. The touch controls actually look surprisingly smooth too, especially for a game that relies so much on stealth and precise movement.